So, um, there's a new Resident Evil 9 news. Resident Evil 9 leaks of Leon Scott Kennedy being, leaked along with other Resident Evil 9 stuff. Of course, I was covering some Silent Hill stuff, Return to Silent Hill that's scheduled to come out, roughly. This is one of the actresses that plays the character in the upcoming movie that's going to come out January the 23rd, 2026. And along with the lead role, the lead actor, Jeremy Ivan, that's going to play, what's his name, is James Sunderland. But I was really wanting to check out some footage of Resident Evil 9 Requiem. If you don't know, welcome to Silent Hill. No, Return to Silent Hill movie.com. Welcome back. Have I been saying welcome to Raccoon City? Because that was the title of the latest Resident Evil film that came out 4 years ago. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, that's not what this review is about. Really, it's really not a review. My reaction to people's reactions out of this. But there's this website if you want to check it out. Might check that out later. Anyway, I want to really show some footage of Resident Evil Requiem. My bad. I've got this video that's been uploaded. I don't know why. I don't know why it hasn't uploaded. But what's the gameplay? Brutal gameplay.
Yes.
Who was it?
Dunno. They asked for Miss Ashcroft and then they hung up on me.
Rude.
Oh, you're FBI? Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
Grace, stay close to me.
I'm coming!
Keep moving.
What's wrong?
I'll explain later.
I've been watching you. You're not like other people, you know. You're quite unique.
Tell me what's going on.
Something important.
Mom, I'm scared.
Grace. They're coming.
There's no escaping your destiny.
Dead.
very much like Resident Evil 7 and 8. Post-posting and all that. They'll probably release a third posting update. Like they did with Ethan Winters. Hell, they'll probably have this character beat the daughter of Ethan Winters, Rose Winters. So apparently, Return to Silent Hill releases January the 23rd, 2026, and almost exactly a month later, on February the 27th, 2026, is the release of Resident Evil Requiem. For those of you who didn't know.
What the hell was that thing? Oh my god.
So the setting of this game is 2028, 30 years after the destruction of Raccoon City in Resident Evil 3. Now that happened in September 1998. So 30 years after that, I think 10 years after 1998 is 2008, 10 more years is 2018, and another 10 years is 2028. So it's only like a little bit over almost 2 years from now.
Oh, yes.
I know what this is. They're trying to get me
What did you do to me? He's dead. We're infected.
so well.
What the hell was that thing? Oh my god. What is this? Hey! Help! You gotta stay calm. You gotta stay cool, come on. Sing. Sing, Grace, sing. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. What did you do to me? Oh, yes. What did you do to me?
Alright, so it looked like that was like a repeat of two separate gameplays. Because it's featured earlier here. You know, she's tied up and... Yeah, she does the same thing when she cuts the thing off with the glass and shit.
What did you do to me?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. That's how it goes from first person to... And I'm moving it around a bit.
Don't come any closer!
I'm rewinding in a bit, just a bit multitasking. So it seems to go from first person to second person.
Acted.
This is like the trailer. This is the trailer, the one of the first trailers. The first trailer.
Grace! Grace! Grace Ashcroft.
Yes?
My office.
Coming. If this is about the report you asked for yesterday, it'll be ready in 3. No, 2 days, tops.
Put a hold on that for now. We found another body. One that exhibits the same pathology as the others we've been investigating. Now I need a good technical analyst on this.
Okay.
I need your eyes on the crime scene. The Renwood Hotel. I know that's where your mother was murdered. Alyssa died 8 years ago. Perhaps it's time for you to face the past. Grace.
What is this? Hey! Help!
Stay close. They're coming.
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for. The special one. The chosen one. Miss Ashcroft.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Please know that you are my hope.
Everyone's gone.
Stay away from me!
Mm-hmm.
バイオハザード・レクイエムはシリーズ第9作に該当する最新作で、 来年2月27日の発売に向けて最適化を進めているところです。 RTX5090 をはじめとする最新 GPU を使用すると、統計的なシミュレーションで光の経路を描写するパストレーシング機能を体験できます。レイトレーシング以上に
Let me look at the subtitles again. So,
バイオハザードレクイエムはシリーズ第9作に該当する最新作で、来年2月27日の発売に向けて最適化を進めているところです。 RTX5090 をはじめとする最新 GPU を使用すると、統計的なシミュレーションで光の経路を描写するパストレーシング機能を体験できます。レイトレーシング以上にリアルでよりレーシング機能を体験できます。レイトレーシング以上にリアルでより写実的な体験できます。レイトレーシング以上にリアルでより写実
I gotta know the difference between these things.
機能を体験できます。レイトレーシング以上にリアルでより写実的なグラフィックスを実現し、没入感を高めます。バイオハザードシリーズにとって光と闇というのは大切なグラフィック表現になります。廊下で不規則に光る明かり、暗闇にほのかに光る赤いランプ、先を照らすライターの火など、恐怖体験には欠かせない表現になります。光の表現以外にも複数の光源から生成される多重の影や反射や屈折、透過光源から生成される多重の影や反射や屈折、透過によって生み出される複雑で繊細な表現を実現したガラスなども、よりリアルな表現になることはバイオハザードシリーズにとっては大きい飛躍となりました。これも DLSS4 のレイ再構築技術によるものだと考えています。バイオハザードシリーズの第1作の発売から約30年、テクノロジーが進化し、ゲームの表現も進歩し続けてきました。シリーズが持つ核は保ちつつも、表現の幅が広がったことで作品ごとにバラエティあふれる体験をお届けできたのだと思います。バストレーシングによる体験の向上はもちろんのこと、 NVIDIA さんとのパートナーシップによりカジュアルなスペックの PC も含めた幅広い PC への最適化を進めていますので、楽しみにお待ちいただければと思います。
Shadow PC. So the idea is you want to buy a computer that is going to handle all that, but you don't have the money. So what you can do until you save up for that computer, you can rent one in the cloud, and you pay roughly less than $70. More like 65 for tax, probably 68 or something. But just under $70, the same. bunch of different pieces, like different little clips from other trailers and gameplays and interviews and stuff like that this person's put together. Game D. Demo doesn't look that long.
開発のコンセプトは病みつきになる恐怖というのを掲げてます。恐怖を乗り越えるね、気持ちよさ、そこのカタルスってやっぱこう脳汁が出るんですよね。それ自体がこれもっとやりたい、遊びたいっていう中毒性を生む。そこに徹底的にフォーカスしてみたら怖いけどゲームとしても楽しい、そういうのが作れるんじゃないかなっていうのがレクイエムの出発点でした。
バイオハザードレクイエムは、シングルプレイかつ、オフラインのゲームとなっています。バイオハザードで一番重要なのは恐怖体験だと思うんですけれども、今作においてはその恐怖体験っていうところに、しっかりとフィーチャーした内容に仕上がっているんじゃないかなと思ってます。
今回の主人公は FBI 捜査官グレイス・アッシュクロフト。内向的で怖がり、バイオハザードとしては割と新しいタイプのキャラクターを作ろうとしています。プレイヤーと同じ目線で一緒になって怖がれる、こういうキャラクターを狙っています。物語の中でもちろん彼女も恐怖を克服し成長していくんですけども、 FBI 捜査官なので銃の扱いも慣れてますし、冷静な推理力とかも発揮しつつ活躍するキャラクターになってます。レオンを主人公にしようっていうのは実はずっとあったんですけども、どうしてもレオンを使ったバッチバチのホラーっていうのが割と難しくて。
Because he's not that scared of the shit. He's been through the shit. He's a veteran, basically. He's a survival horror veteran since Outbreak.
落ちてきたバケツ。
Yeah, he wouldn't jump at something like a bucket falling or a rat, something like that. He might be startled, but he wouldn't jump at it.
びっくりするとか、そういうレオンってそんなみんな見たくないやろっていうところで、じゃあホラーと食い合わせ悪いよなっていうのがやっぱりありましたけど、
ファーストトレーラーご覧になって分かるように、グレース自身がすごいいろんな目に遭うんですね。 PV で断片的には入ってるんですけども、逆さずり一つとっても顔の赤らみ、高揚感であったりとか、うっ血してる表現、あとは髪の毛もかなり力を入れてまして、自分たちでスタッフと一緒にプロの方を呼んで実際にウィッグを使ってそこからシミュレーションして CG に落とし込んだりとかもしていく。
Because they're still using actors for the mocap, the motion capture, as well as the performance capturing of the face. They're still doing that. The face performance capturing and the motion capture for the movement. They're still using actors for that. And you gotta have like some type of imitation of hail. So you need a model for the hail so they can put it into the game.
います。
バイオハザードレクイエムはですね、一人称視点と三人称視点2つの視点で自由に切り替えながら遊ぶことができます。主観視点だ。
Because a thing about Resident Evil 8 Village is that at first players had no choice but to play it in first perspective, which is exactly the case with Resident Evil 7 that came out. And because of that, I guess some fans reached out to Capcom complaining, saying that they wanted it to be in third person, kind of like, you know, Resident Evil, you see in Resident Evil 2 and 4, Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 remakes. And this whole third person, it began really. It's really more like 2.5, not really third person, because third person is kind of like when you see the original RE games, 0, 1, 2, and 3 Nemesis respectively, and also Outbreaks File 1 and 2. But whenever you see Resident Evil 4 that came out 2004 or 5, it was kind of not exactly a 3-person camera perspective, but more like a 2.5, maybe 2.7 perspective, to where you see Leon from the back of his head and his back and his shoulder and his arm, but you don't see too much of his leg. You see a little bit of his legs move as he's running, because whenever you sprint, it kind of zooms out so you can see his legs moving, but you don't really see the full body. It's kind of like he's kind of in the corner, so you can see everything else. So it's kind of a little bit of a between a third person, a first person and third person. I guess second person. I said 2.5 person, right? Shit. But Resident Evil 7 specifically was completely in first person, and Resident Evil 8 came out in first person. But then Capcom released an update along with their Gold Edition, or whatever the edition was, that has like the additional stuff and the DLC, the Rose expansion, that whole, I think it was called Winter's expansion. Yeah, I remember buying it because I first bought the Resident Evil 8 base game, just the game itself, and then I bought the upgrade, the Winter's expansion, and then I was able to play the whole game in third person now. And yeah, also able to play the whole story with Rose. And I mention this because I recently, like about a month and a half ago, I bought Resident Evil Village 8 Village for the iPhone 17 L. I have an iPhone 17 L, and I bought Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, and Resident Evil 8 Village. Oh, and also Resident Evil 4 Remake. And not only have I bought the games, but I also bought all the weapon unlocks and all that good stuff. So I bought the whole thing. I bought the Gold Edition, or the best edition you can have. I was gonna buy Assassin's Creed Mirage, but I decided not to because that was gonna cost like $50. So, and I have them installed on my iPhone, which they take up a significant amount of space. So, if I gotta move my photos, I can't have all these kinds of photos. I'm probably gonna have to uninstall at least one game. But I've been playing Resident Evil 8 specifically a lot. I just beat it on the last mode that I beat it on was standard, and I'm gonna work on professional, but I know professional's gonna be pretty hard because I still have a save on my Steam account with me playing professional, but I'm in the last fight with Heisenberg, so it's difficult. I can't get past that mode. But I have Resident Evil 8 on like 3 separate platforms. I have it on Xbox, Steam, and our iPhone. Actually, it was not Steam while I'm fighting Eisenberg. It's on Xbox while I was fighting Eisenberg. And I gotta kind of load it on my Steam to see where I am. But anyway, yeah.
あとその恐怖を間近に感じることができて、緊張感のある、臨場感のある、ゲームプレイっていうのが可能になります。三人称視点だとキャラクターの肩越しでの視点というところでアクション、そういったところがよく見えるゲームプレイになると思いますので、アクションが好きだなって思う方には、三人称視点の方がおすすめです。
That's my default perspective, third person. But, I'm gonna try them both.
滅菌作戦以降30年近く経つんですけども、ゲームの舞台として登場します。
その当時アンブレラ事件っていうので
There's probably radiation from the afterblast of that, because if you look at how it does not look like a whole lot was wiped out, just like a small section compared to this big ass metropolis area over here. Like you got this area over here. And you got it looks like either trees or forest over here, and you got a lot of. I love this screenshot. I like this picture.
登場します。
その当時アンブレ
About stories. The series became really popular with stories set during the original.
ラ事件っていうのでシリーズがヒットして、それ以降もさまざまなキャラクターたちが、いろんなラクーンシティで起きた事件をきっかけに立ち向かっていくようになったり、人間成長した。
Because every single main game centers around the initial outbreak around the Arclight Mountains in the corresponding city of Raccoon City. Like, of course, you have things like the Baker incident in 7 and the whatever incident they call it in 8. But every real Resident Evil fan, every real RE fan thinks about the first few games, 0, 1, 2, 3, and even Outbreak. So it's all centered around Raccoon City and the Arclight Mountains.
ラクーンシティで起きた事件
Since we've seen on camera.
その当時アンブレラ事件っていうのでシリーズがヒットして、それ以降もさまざまなキャラクターたちが、いろんなラクーンシティで起きた事件をきっかけに立ち向かっていくようになったり、人間成長したり、そこに今回この表現のメスを入れるっていうのが作り手としてはやっぱり。
I know I'm grinding a bit.
その当時アンブレラ事件っていうのでシリーズラクーンシティで起きた事件をきっかけに立ち向かっていくようになったり、人間成長したりで起きた事件をきっかけに
Since we've seen a lot of characters face hardships due to
立ち向かっていくようになったり、人間成長したり、そこに今回こ
figuring out how to tell a story which came out of all of that.
の表現のメスを入れるっていうのが作り手としてはやっぱりかなり緊張感を持ってこの表現のメスを
Figuring out how to tell a story which came off of all of that came
入れるっていうの
before.
が作り手としてはやっぱりかなり緊張感を持って臨ませてもらったっていうのが大きかったですね。
ラクーン事件に関わった、もしくはラクーン事件に巻き込まれて大きく人生を
They
変わって
lost
しま
their lives and were changed dramatically as a result of
っ
it.
たり、命を落としてしまったりと、そういった登場人物が
So
た
many
くさん
characters have come out
出てます。レクイエムは
of
彼らに向けての
energy to those who came before.
言葉通り鎮魂であり、もっと言うとバ
The series that was born from Umbrella.
イオハザードシリーズラクーン事件アンブレラをきっかけに生まれたシリーズのある種一つの区切りという意味でレクイエムというタイトルをつけています。
バイオハザードレクイエムは2026年2月27日に発売予定です。2026年3月にバイオハザードシリーズ30周年を迎えます。30周年記念タイトルの名に恥じぬようなゲームとして本作リリースしたいなというふうに思っております。
Okay, so stop. What does Requiem mean? Token of remembrance. No, I don't.
グレースの母親は
大きく方針を転換
グレース スの母親は
大きく方針を転換してですね、実写映画を目指すというところで
Further interviews with the creators that didn't fit into today's presentation will be released today on the Resident Evil portal. Register your Capcom ID to see the rest.
ラクーンシティっていうところは基本触っちゃ
Oh, this was a few months ago.
いけないもんだと。
To see the rest.
ラクーンシティっていうところは基本触っちゃいけないもんだと。
Alright guys, now that you've seen this awesome gameplay demo and the trailers of Resident Evil Requiem, let's dive deeper into everything we know so far about the game. The story, the characters, the gameplay mechanics, and what Capcom is planning for this next chapter in the series. Resident Evil Requiem is Capcom's upcoming 9th mainline entry in the iconic survival horror series, and it aims to deliver a chilling new chapter deeply rooted in the franchise's legacy while pushing its gameplay into new territory. Scheduled to release in late February 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Windows PC, and Nintendo Switch 2, Requiem returns players to a place long thought lost. The ruins of Raccoon City, ground zero of the 1998 T-virus outbreak that was ultimately destroyed in a nuclear blast. Nearly 3 decades have passed since that catastrophe, and now the story ventures back into this quarantined wasteland. Players assume the role of Grace Ashcroft, a new kind of Resident Evil hero, an FBI intelligence analyst who lacks combat experience and is driven instead by personal tragedy and determination. Far from the gun-toting special operatives of past games, Grace is an introverted, vulnerable character thrust into a nightmare far beyond her training. She has a deeply personal stake in this mission. Her mother, investigative reporter Alyssa Ashcroft, a survivor of the 1998 Raccoon City incident, was mysteriously killed at the very site Grace is now investigating. That site is the derelict Renwood Hotel on the outskirts of Raccoon City, where a series of unexplained deaths and strange occurrences have drawn the attention of authorities. Grace arrives alone at the abandoned hotel to investigate these incidents and to uncover the truth behind her mother's fate. What begins as a simple inquiry soon spirals into a far more horrific ordeal as Grace retraces her mother's footsteps through shadowy hotel corridors and eventually out into the devastated city beyond. The storyline is entwined with the lingering shadow of the Umbrella Corporation, the infamous pharmaceutical company responsible for Raccoon City's downfall. Capcom has hinted that Umbrella's dark secrets and unseen machinations still play a role here, implying that Requiem will continue the franchise's central narrative of bioweapon conspiracies. Indeed, as Grace delves deeper, she uncovers evidence of a new outbreak or experiment festering within the hotel's sealed-off depths, connecting the tragedy of 1998 to a fresh nightmare in the present, and suggesting that Umbrella's legacy is far from buried. When it comes to gameplay, Requiem stays true to the survival horror fundamentals: exploration, combat, puzzles, and resource management, while introducing a unique twist in perspective. For the first time ever in a mainline Resident Evil, players can freely switch between first-person and third-person views on the fly, combining the immersive dread of recent first-person entries with the classic over-the-shoulder vantage point of the older games. This means you can experience terror through Grace's own eyes as you creep down a dark hallway, or pull back to a wider view to better situate yourself in combat, all according to your preference. Because Grace isn't a hardened soldier, the gameplay leans even more into survival and suspense. At the outset, she's nearly defenseless, so you must rely on stealth, clever thinking, and careful exploration to stay alive. You'll scour the eerie environments for any tools that can help, finding keys and fuses to restore power to locked areas, picking up a lighter to illuminate pitch-black rooms, and grabbing improvised weapons like a glass bottle that can be thrown to distract something dangerous. The hotel and surrounding city ruins are riddled with hostile creatures born of bioweapon horrors. Zombies and other grotesque mutants lurk in the darkness, and a towering, relentless monstrosity reminiscent of the series' classic pursuers stalks Grace relentlessly throughout her journey. This hulking creature cannot be killed by ordinary means, so evading it is often the only option. You might hear its heavy footsteps and inhuman gurgles echoing through ventilation shafts as it searches for you, prompting a panicked dash to hide under a table or slip behind debris to avoid its gaze. Requiem cultivates this constant nerve-wracking tension, a feeling the developers have dubbed addictive fear, where the sense of vulnerability is overwhelming yet drives you forward. Still, true to Resident Evil tradition, you will eventually find some firearms and the tide can turn in smaller encounters. Grace can arm herself with weapons like a pistol or shotgun later in the game, allowing you to fight back against lesser enemies, for example, dispatching a shambling undead that corners you in a hallway, but ammunition is extremely scarce, and every shot must be weighed carefully. Managing limited resources is a core part of the experience. You'll combine herbs to craft healing items, conserve bullets by picking your battles, and stash supplies in an inventory, deciding what to carry as you solve puzzles under pressure. The game's level design encourages backtracking to previously secured areas with new keys or codes, all while unpredictable threats keep each return visit fraught with anxiety. Every encounter in Requiem becomes a strategic decision, whether to stand your ground and use a precious round, or to flee and regroup, capturing the classic survival horror balance of empowerment and terror. Visually, Resident Evil Requiem is pushing the series' technical boundaries. Built on Capcom's RE engine, it boasts some of the most realistic graphics the franchise has seen, enhanced by advanced rendering techniques on the latest hardware. Dynamic lighting and cutting-edge ray tracing technology create an intensely atmospheric look. Hallways are cloaked in deep shadows that dance and stretch with every flicker of Grace's lighter or crackle of failing fluorescent lights, and lightning storms outside briefly illuminate the bloodstained interiors in stark white flashes. Capcom's developers have even implemented path-traced global illumination, meaning light behaves more naturally and eerily in the environment, heightening immersion. The art direction capitalizes on these tools to deliver a haunting rendition of Raccoon City in ruin. One moment you'll be creeping through the claustrophobic, decaying hotel halls, and the next you might find yourself out in the deserted city streets, where familiar landmarks lie in decay. Longtime fans will appreciate the nods to classic locales. Early trailers show the Raccoon City Police Department's once grand lobby now overgrown and desolate, its shattered windows lit by the occasional flash of lightning. The overall presentation, combined with a chilling soundscape of distant screams, creaking floors, and unseen things skittering in the dark, ensures that Requiem's world feels as oppressive and terrifying as its storyline demands. Every visual and audio element works in tandem to keep the player's nerves on edge, delivering the kind of polished, cinematic horror atmosphere that modern hardware allows. On the development side, Resident Evil Requiem's journey reflects a careful balance of fan expectations and new ideas. The project is helmed by director Koshi Nakanishi, known for directing Resident Evil 7, which brought the series back to its horror roots. And his team initially experimented with a drastically different concept for Resident Evil 9. At one point, the game was envisioned as an online open-world title, but they ultimately went back to the drawing board to preserve the focused, single-player survival horror experience that fans love. Capcom officially unveiled Requiem as the title of Resident Evil 9 at Summer Game Fest in June 2025, surprising viewers with a dramatic reveal trailer that closed out the show and immediately set the community abuzz. In interviews since that announcement, the developers have shared insight into their goals. They describe Requiem as ushering in a new era of survival horror, one that emphasizes psychological tension and fear of the unknown over bombastic action. Producer Masato Kumazawa and others have explained that making Grace an everyday person instead of a super soldier was a deliberate choice to heighten the horror. The idea is that players will feel afraid along with her. This approach, combined with the game's powerful engine and nostalgic setting, shows how the development team is honoring Resident Evil's classic DNA while still evolving it. Requiem also benefits from the hindsight of recent installments. After the more action-oriented Resident Evil 5 and 6 and the more personal story of 7 and Village, this installment aims to blend the best elements of each era. It promises the creeping dread and careful pacing of the early games, the polished controls and dynamic camera work of the later entries, and a narrative that connects back to the series' most defining events. By revisiting Raccoon City and Umbrella's legacy with modern technology and fresh eyes, Capcom is not only celebrating the series' history, but also daring to take it in a new direction. All told, Resident Evil Requiem is shaping up to be a harrowing survival horror experience that will delight lore enthusiasts and scare newcomers in equal measure. It ties directly into the core mythology, bringing players back to the infamous ground zero of the outbreak, yet it stands on its own with a new protagonist and a self-contained story. Longtime fans will recognize echoes of past Resident Evil entries, from subtle callbacks in the environment to the overarching presence of Umbrella, but Grace's personal journey ensures the narrative also has a very human, emotional core. The game's blend of heart-pounding gameplay and richly atmospheric world building seems poised to push the franchise forward without forgetting its roots. When it launches in early 2026, players can expect a modern survival horror adventure that honors everything that came before. The fear, the exploration, the monstrosities, while confidently carving out its own identity. Thanks for watching, see you next time.
Well, it's that 14-minute long. We already kind of saw this. So the leaks of it, right? Those leaks. There were a hell of a lot of leaks. A lot of leaks since it was announced, like roughly 6 months ago. And there's this whole thing with Leon being leaked by Capcom or Sony. Either Capcom or Sony, one of the two, leaked the fact that Leon is back. And
all people of all companies.
Yes.
Apparently he's aged. You can see this is his coat, and I thought that part was his build. But apparently it's a part of his coat here. But you can see he has a mustache. You can tell it's Leon because of the hair is a dead giveaway, but also the eyes. He looks very similar to his 2 and 4 guises. So.
Sony has dropped this basically on the PlayStation 5 store. If you pre-ordered the standard edition, you can in fact see
not
that
the
Leon,
deluxe.
not the deluxe.
Only the standard edition will show this. And we have confirmed it on our own PlayStation. This is not AI.
Yes.
It is not fake.
And here is the footage to show you the proof right now.
Exactly.
As you can see, I'm going on the PlayStation Store. We have me going over to my game library. I click your collection. And at first, you're like, oh, it just looks like the standard Grace cover.
Yes.
Then you click into it, and it does in fact show
on the
Leon.
download page, the download splash has Resident Evil Requiem.
Yes.
Grace and Leon and some zombies at the bottom. It looks like Rain is going to be very particular for this motif of the game that they're going for, which is very fitting because that's what the motif was for RE2 Remake.
Yeah.
This is Leon's return, apparently, to Raccoon City. I would imagine Leon's going to show up in the city.
That would make sense.
He probably won't be at the Chronic Care Center, but we'll see.
We'll see.
They have shown us basically only the Chronic Care Center, and now we know why, as we have speculated, as many fans have speculated. Whether you're on Team Leon or Team I fucking hate Leon, I can't wait for the game to, be shown and him not to be in it, so those fans can QQ. Unfortunately for you, you're wrong.
And he's in there.
Leon's in the game,
and he's got the bomber
EA
jacket
Sports,
type thing.
He's got his a leather
He's got the
jacket,
beard.
like always.
He looks older and tired, which is good. I mean,
Yes.
these characters age. You
He
got to
definitely looks
remember,
disheveled.
right?
He still looks amazing for his actual age.
Yeah, because this confirms that Thursday is definitely going to be a
100%.
Leon trailer.
It's going to have a Leon
gameplay. So we're excited about this, guys.
Rose stuff that we were talking about, we had covered that. If you haven't seen that video, we covered it. We're still up in the air whether that was AI. There are some comments and some things I've read around the internet that says GameStop uses AI a lot for their infrastructure for listing things.
Right.
So it's possible.
It's possible that
that
could
is
be
just
null and void.
A null and void leak.
But I can confirm that the URL
was real.
It was real.
It was
guys.
real. We looked at it with our own eyes.
Looked at
whether AI slop was to blame or another, like an employee was to blame. PlayStation was not going to be one-upped by GameStop. They said, your leak sucks. We're we're going to give a real leak this time.
Yeah.
And they like to have this stuff loaded on the back end to prepare for launch day. That way things aren't getting all wacky, and they're not showing the wrong graphics or anything. This could be the reason why we have had no reveal of a collector's edition in America. They know we love the statues. Are we going to get a third Leon statue?
I think so.
We might. We might. I would prefer a gray statue, but just because we already have 2 Leons.
Yeah.
But I'll have all 3 Leons just fucking, and there's be somebody out there with like, we'll repaint them to be nude or something.
I'm
they'll
sure.
3D print them and get like nude Leon statues. You know, all the fam girls and boys.
Yeah.
You know, they might put them in the, you know.
They're going to get excited.
We've seen other Resident Evil YouTubers stream with the tramp stamp Leon, so you never know what people are going to want on their shelf.
No, this is exciting.
I'm excited,
Yeah,
bro.
this is exciting, man.
We were not excited about the Rose leak.
Not really,
because
no.
It's one of those things like Rose is an interesting character. I do want her to be utilized in the future as the main character when we get to that point in the series where she's going to take the torch.
And she still could be utilized in this.
His shirt is similar to mine. Now, and it's a good thing they included Resident Evil Outbreak, even though it's File 2. I never heard of a Rose leak. Were they talking about Resident Evil 8 before the Rose Winters expansion came into play, where you can play as Rose Winters? Or are they informed that she's going to be in Resident Evil 9? I guess it makes sense.
Still be in this
a minuscule way
at all. Like, she could still be in this game.
Right.
However, like we said in the video, we wanted to report on it like it was news, but this is breaking news. This is just
like legit.
Everybody wants to make it breaking news, like the news reporters, man. Fuck, for games. They're doing this for views, likes, and subscribers. Look, 1,000 likes, 25,000 subscribers. How many views? Over 20,000 views. Come on, man. Rose with tones. Okay. I should rename my playlist.
Shout out to Blue on
Blue
our
in our
Discord
Discord
server. He has gotten shout outs. He was the either the one who discovered this, or he's the one that hacked the Sony servers and uploaded this AI picture. We're not sure, but
we confirmed it ourselves. I woke
so
up and spent money on this thing just to confirm the pre-order does show this image.
Masterclass of gaslighting by this guy, or he is legit and he is the discoverer, for what we can tell,
through our Discord.
So
and again, shout out to the Discord, shout out to the community. You guys are awesome. But yeah,
I woke up to seeing this, and
so did I.
I got woken up by Santa Claus by Tim Allen in it.
Yeah.
My cat sat on the remote and turned the TV up to 40, so I guess my cat knew that shit was going down.
John checked the Discord.
I woke up, I started calling Anthony. I was like, I had to call. I called his girlfriend. I was like, get him up.
Yeah, Callie's like, Leon's apparently confirmed.
Let it load a little bit. Buffer.
That's all well and good, but we can do the Road Warrior.
Auto intelligence, let's get it. Technology, auto trader, auto intelligence.
Picture your dreams, then scan the QR.
I'm just like,
I called Dustin.
What? All right,
Dustin. He fucking woke up from his sleep chamber. He was like, I'll be there.
Yeah, so we assembled, but yeah, this is just great news, guys.
It's really great news.
Hardcore RE fans seeing Leon back in a mainline game, seeing an OG character back in a mainline game for the first time since Resident Evil 6.
And remakes don't count. Remakes are remakes.
Yes.
We're talking mainline in the game. EA.
It's in the game.
It's in the game.
And he's in the game.
And he's in the game. And what I can't think of a better character. He is so experienced escorting blondes. This is
Yeah.
we knew
Yes.
this was going to happen.
And
First
it's
it was
Raccoon
Ashley,
City. You
it's
gotta
Raccoon
have
City.
Leon there
You gotta
somewhere.
have Leon.
Maybe there's some room for other characters too, because I would like to see more characters in Leon
Yeah.
as well. I don't want to be
Yes.
greedy, but I think that this would be cool.
And we're going to do another video right after this one that goes more in depth of our thoughts on it and more in depth of like what this means.
A structured conversation that we'll have.
Some theories we might have, some ideas we might have. I will leave you with one little tidbit. Wouldn't it be funny if it was Jeff Shine's voice in Leon?
I think they know better not to do that. Well, that makes a good question.
I don't know.
Nick Apostolides or Matthew Mercer?
I think they'll go Nick.
Yeah, they'll go Nick, right?
Yeah, they'll
because
go-
Matthew
they'll go
Mercer
Nick.
did Death Island, but that's
Yeah.
just because the movies have a different, different contracts, different things in line,
for
right?
sure. And it's
So-
Sony. It's Sony Pictures.
Right.
Katakawa is owned by Sony, obviously. So the
Right.
video games are Capcom.
Yeah.
So the licensing's all different. I don't think that
Does
Matt
he?
Mercer will be the voice. Of course, I would be okay with that.
Right.
Love
Oh, yeah.
Nick. Love Matt.
We think they both do great jobs.
They both do great jobs.
Jesse thinks so too.
The RE Engine Leon is Nick, so I would like to keep that with some consistency. But I was just thinking, like, have you seen the shit I've seen?
Yeah.
It would be hilarious.
It's just Leon.
if Jeff Shine was Leon.
He's so killer. They're like, yo, by the way, he's just voicing everyone,
voicing
every male
everyone.
character.
Can't wait for RE Remake 1 where he's Chris and Wesker.
Yeah. But,
have you seen the shit I've seen?
Yeah, yeah.
Not going to take
Jeff Shine should play Rocky in the Rocky game.
Oh, no.
He would be great.
That wrestling
But yeah.
chosen for a big surprise.
I was asleep for 2 hours before this one, before I woke up, so I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I was playing RE7 all night. I'm getting footage of everything
Right,
because
right.
we're trying to recap.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some lore videos on the lore channel that we're doing. Resident Evil Explain. So go subscribe. But I'm exhausted, but I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
Are you excited, Dustin?
Are you excited?
He said
we're all
thumbs up.
excited, so let's do this. So like I said,
this, yeah.
hit the like button,
Subscribe if you
hype
haven't
it up,
already.
join the Discord, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more.
Subscribe for Jesse.
Jesse, Aunt John, and Dustin, and Let's Talk Resident Evil. Stay tuned for more, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
The inner order. You might have saved my life. Dude, if I-
Yeah, join the Discord. That's what they all say.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
We
Reviews.
I'm trying to be creative. I can't eat fruit. Does anyone have something more substantial?
are just back with some more Resident Evil. It seems like every week now we have something new.
It's 2
to
a.m.
discuss. It's late. We weren't expecting to do this video, but as we try to cover the news and be up to date with everything, because all of you guys are chomping at the bit to hear what we have to say about this news that actually came from GameStop and their website, John.
Yes. Now, before we get into it, we just want to put a little disclaimer here. One of the reasons why we're covering it is because it is an official page. It is a link that we've verified with our own eyes.
Right.
Ourselves. We're on the page now, looking straight at it.
We're going to put the screenshot up while we
for
talk
sure.
about it.
This is a GameStop link to the PC Deluxe version of Resident Evil Requiem. It's a specific link as well.
Yes. I'll
which is
put
a
it
little-
down below.
A little interesting. Now, just a disclaimer. This could be an error. This could be a GameStop employee prank. This could be a whole bunch of things. So, until we get the Game Awards reveal, which will probably confirm or deny this.
Which is going to be this Thursday.
This Thursday.
We will be live. Just want to
Yes.
plug that again.
Yes, we will be live. This is to be taken with a grain of salt, but we're still going to discuss it like it's legit.
Yeah, because no other listing on Amazon.
There's no other listing.
Best Buy has this bit of info in it.
You're just doing it for views.
This isn't a screenshot that's been floating around Twitter. This is a real GameStop link
URL
that you can go to on your mobile device or your desktop computer or your tablet.
It's in there. It's in the product
or your
description.
Nintendo DS.
Yeah. So we're just gonna discuss it, and it's very well could be revealed on Thursday, depending on what we see, because it is confirmed we are getting another look at Resident Evil 9 exclusively.
Yes,
so
all new.
This coming out the same week might line up a little bit more than we thought.
They do like to get ahead of things, and this wouldn't be unprecedented for video games for this to happen. This wouldn't even be unprecedented for Resident Evil. We've covered stuff like this in the past.
Correct.
So I'll read through the product description, and then I'll let you read through what the deluxe edition includes.
All right, let's do it.
So the nightmare never truly ends. It just evolves. Resident Evil Requiem drags you back into the heart of survival horror, picking up threads left dangling in the shadows of Raccoon City and the Baker Estate. But this isn't a mission you're prepared for. This is a descent. Meet Grace Ashcroft, an FBI intelligence analyst who represents a new kind of survivor. When a new biological disaster plunges the iconic Raccoon City back into darkness, she must learn to overcome her own fear to survive. She isn't a super soldier, she's an analyst, forced to use her firearm training and deductive reasoning to stay one step ahead of the horrors hunting her. So, pretty iconic description right there.
Yeah, very well typed.
Very well typed. What does it include, Anthony?
So, the deluxe edition includes the PC Steam digital code, a steelbook case, and the following digital content. The Sanctuary, which is an expansion pass that has 2 new story scenarios and a major Mercenaries mode update. So we have 2 story scenarios that are extra confirmed, and Mercenaries mode is coming back to Resident Evil 9. The second thing is Morphic Visor. And this got people talking. Cosmetic filter, right? Yeah, it does filters all the time, but this is a unique cosmetic look for Rose's visor. Rose, as in Rose Winters.
Yes,
because
Rosemary Winters.
The next one is Shadow Walker. It's a
Where's the Mercenaries mode? Never is a slave. Conspiracies. Steam digital steelbook case. No.
costume pack. John, 3 exclusive outfits for Rosemary Winters.
Yes.
Boom. And digital artwork and official soundtrack.
But Anthony and John, I thought they said we were getting away from the Winters.
And Rose is only 8 years old in this.
Yeah, around 8, yeah. She's about 8 years old.
The game takes place in 2028. Rose was born in 2020.
Yeah.
She has had issues with, her being a child growing up.
We don't
with
know
these
all
powers.
the story. She ages faster, slower. But we do have a timeline because we do have the Shadow of Rose DLC.
Correct. Which is in 2037, you said?
Yes.
Right.
2037.
This is what happens when you
17?
jump forward in the timeline, then back, then
because in
forward.
2020 to 2037, she would be 17. So first, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the return, or likely return, of Rosemary Winters. Yes, the developers said we were getting away from Winters. We were very happy to get away from Ethan. I want your raw, honest thoughts, Anthony. If this is real and this is true, we're treating it like it is for now. Are you excited to see 8-year-old Rosemary Winters in this game?
No, and that might make people upset.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest, I just really wasn't a fan of the Winters in general, in my opinion. But let alone Rose Winters. I thought the DLC was interesting. It had some cool moments in it. She had the powers. You got to see her powers firsthand. I just don't think that it's necessary in this game unless they somehow again tie it back to not only is Grace the chosen one, right, but Rose might play into that. I don't know. I just think that this could have made some more room for other characters instead of just 8-year-old Rose. You know what I mean? Now, if it plays a important critical role in the game and they write it in a way where it feels organic and it doesn't feel forced and pushed on, maybe my opinion will change. So, but as of now, just as an outside looking in, experiencing Resident Evil 7 and 8, not being too big on Ethan, not being too big on Mia and Rose, this doesn't really get me that excited in my opinion. What about you?
I'm not big on Ethan. I'm not big on Mia. I'm not big on Miranda. We've only seen 17-year-old Rose. I'm not going to condemn the character yet because from what we got of her in Village, it was my favorite part. So, I am, however, pretty big on the potential of the mold. I think the mold could have been done a lot better. I think it could have been done a lot cooler and a lot more just a better way to tie it back to the original series than that note at the end of Village. It kind of feels to me that this is going to be the game. Even up here in the product description, they talk about how, picking up threads left dangling in the shadows of Raccoon City and the Baker Estate.
Yes, they mention that.
This to me, and we kind of talked about this off camera a little bit, not really on camera so much because we didn't want to be overly negative about 7 and Village at the time where we were covering this early on. Resident Evil 9 is going to be the Band-Aid or the stitch glue, whatever you want to call it. I can't think of the liquid glue or whatever, liquid stitching that holds together the two sides of this story. What puzzles me, and what I mean by that is it's going to be the game that is going to tie 7 and Village into the mainline lore.
Right.
And make it make sense. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
And make it feel like it belongs. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they can't do that. That it's impossible to make it feel like it doesn't belong. They should have done a better job in 7 and Village.
I agree, and I don't want to say that I'm also just going to be pissed if they do that as long as it works correctly.
Exactly.
Because I understand that 7 and 8 are mainline games,
and they're very popular amongst fans.
You can't wish them away.
Just wish them. I can wish all I want.
Yes.
But it's not gonna do anything. They're here.
Exactly. They're here to stay. And so as long as they made this make sense, this doesn't really make me excited. Like, yes. Rose is back, but I'm just kind of questioning how they're gonna work this in.
Yes, and you and I have been vocal in the past on the channel, in podcasts, even when we covered Village originally.
Yes.
That a Resident Evil 9, or Requiem, and as we call it right now, that would be able to tie this stuff in better, could potentially raise our opinions on 7 and Village. Because it's one of those things. Me and Anthony have been watching the Scream movies again.
Yeah.
I'll use this as a quick tie-in, but it's one of those things like, you can't really judge how you feel about all the movies against each other until you've seen them all. I can't judge Village. If there is more to the story that we haven't gotten in Village and 7 that is going to come in 9, my reevaluation of those games will have to occur once 9 is in our hands.
You would have to look
if
at
that
it
makes
in
sense.
that different way.
Right now,
yeah,
I don't like them. I don't like
How
them.
they're
I think they're lazily written.
Yeah.
I think I'm not going to get started on anything. Gameplay, they're fine. I don't mind them gameplay wise. But everything else, I don't like. Story, I don't like. Writing, I don't like. Soundtrack's fine. You know, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty. I like some aspects of Seven and Village.
It's just a matter of like if they can turn it around in this game. Because like you said, you could go back and say, you know, you didn't leave that story just kind of hanging in the winds. You make little things, but you actually wrap it up and tie it up, because the problem is, you know, again, it's a 30-year-old franchise. That's the glaring issue, where you had different people writing, different people coming in, right? There's familiar faces, but the consistency within the writing and leaving things open-ended, you know, even the ending in 8 is going to be left on a cliffhanger. We'll just never know what's going on with the BSAA. Maybe they'll mention it. We don't know. I'm not going to assume.
Might be Resident Evil 10.
Could be RE10. You finally get back to why BSAA got corrupt. I don't know if that's even going to be in this game. We don't know. If you're doing this, you just got to make sure that you have a purpose, because like they said, there is no lore Bible, right? There is no thing they pull from, like, see, we got the handy dandy notebook, Blue's Clues style, fucking drawing shit, writing stuff out. They don't have stuff to draw from. They do, but they choose to like do their own thing.
Yes.
And try to make it make just enough sense and maybe wrap it into the lore.
Who are we to take their word at this point, right? Because they also said this was in development long before Village.
Yes.
Does that mean that it's, you know, this story, this concept? Maybe not. We don't know. We won't know unless they say it. I'm guessing that they meant it's the game title has been a lot. Like,
Correct.
They went through the multiplayer, the
they
online,
probably went through
all that
all
stuff.
those different renditions we heard about.
But if this has been in development for that long, and it's the same director from 7, I find it hard to believe that he's telling the truth. Because you would want to wrap up the perfect bow on your baby. Whether I like it or not is irrelevant.
Right.
As a Resident Evil fan, if you're a fan of 7 and Village, you get this little tease DLC. I mean, is the story really over? The mold's never really tied into the main franchise in a way that goes, it's T-Virus level, or it's G-Virus level, or like it's interesting enough to be like that big thing. And honestly, if it was done correctly, the mold would have been T-Virus, G-Virus level.
Definitely, especially
Parasite
if you
level.
had, you know, really memorable creatures and BOWs and things that really harken back to the iconic stuff that we know and love, because that was the biggest thing with the molded, is that it kind of felt like almost like an afterthought in many ways with how they approached some of the design and how they presented it right within the story.
Most enemies are fought the same way.
Yeah,
Have the
so
same
now
powers,
if you're tying it back, and this is going back to Raccoon City and it's his big 30th year, you know, it's who knows as far as what they decide to use, what they decide to keep. It does say 2 new scenario stories, right? So whether one is like one of Rose or the other is another character as well, like there's a couple opportunities for her to be in addition to, you know, the other characters that could show up that we know from past games. You know what I mean? So again, I don't want to keep saying, you know, this and that as far as like the same characters.
Well,
this is something I don't think we saw coming. But there was a little girl voice in the first trailer.
So you and I have we kind of mentioned early on. I hope it was in one of the podcasts, but we definitely talked about it off camera.
Right.
The only little girl we could think of that would be that age at the time would have been Rose. But we were like,
yeah.
Everyone's gone.
And the reason why we said that, where we weren't really sure, is because, well, he said we're getting away from the Winters story.
Yeah, so you kind of were like, all right, like we're just not.
Rosemary Winters is Winters.
It's not Ethan, but it's an
Ethan.
extension of him, literally.
Yeah, it's
and
like
she's
saying,
powerful. She has these powers, right?
We're moving away from the Redfield story. Oh, by the way, Claire's in the game.
Right.
Are you really? I mean, maybe the major focus. I don't know. I think it's one of those things that's like lost in translation. But knee-jerk reaction to this is I don't hate it. One of the main reasons why I don't like 7 and Village, again, is because they don't tie in my opinion, in a satisfying way. This could completely change that.
It could.
Now, that doesn't...
I think that's why a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of fans did not like 7. I myself did not like 7 because it didn't feel like a Resident Evil movie. It felt like just a brand new game that was using the Resident Evil name, the title, but not really a Resident Evil game, because 6 was Resident Evil. No matter what people say, it is Resident Evil. But you got to do something other than make remakes all the time. You know, just like Dakota Johnson said, she said there's nothing but sequels and wequels and remakes in Hollywood and movies. Same thing with games. We're always just doing remakes. Remakes has become this new trend in media, period. It's not authors rewriting their books, remaking their books. Like, we don't see J.K. Rowling rewriting Harry Potter, with a brand new edition, with a brand new author's note or author's forward or something. She's probably going to add to the whole lore of it, but it's not going to be a rewrite. They do release, re-releases of things with the new additions to it. They're re-releasing or re-releasing Sinners, the 70mm IMAX tomorrow on the 11th. Because I gotta do a trailer check for it, and I was gonna work a job at the Pacific Arts, but I decided to take that day off, that shift off, and then do this job. I must see the movie as well again. I probably shouldn't, but anyway. Yeah, it's I didn't like 7, and I didn't really dislike 8. I like 8 more than 7 because of the ability to upgrade your weapons, and also because it was a little bit reminiscent of Resident Evil 4. It was kind of like a placeholder for Resident Evil 4 fans before the Resident Evil 4 remake actually got released, because I can't believe it's been that long. It feels like it was just like a year or two ago since it came out. Time is going by way too fast. Anyway. But yeah. Resident Evil 8 felt like a placeholder for the Resident Evil 4 fans until 4 remake officially came out.
I'm gonna love Village. Village has other problems besides story. Like the Frankenstein monster, all that other bullcrap. I don't have a problem with 7 as much. I think 7's a great game in its own right.
I think me and you both like 7 better than 8.
Way better. Way better. I would rather sit down and play 7 than 6 sometimes.
Yeah.
And 5.
Yeah, exactly.
But I still love 5 and 6.
Depending on the vibe you're going for,
yeah, for
right?
sure. Like, if I want more of an RE2 feel, more of a classic experience, I'll sit down and play 7. If I'm looking for a Village experience, I'm just going to grab the much better Resident Evil 4.
Right, and this seems to be an extension of Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 7. That's the vibe. We saw the gameplay, right, the other day that you guys saw us do a video on. It's, it looks like we're getting the slow lumbering zombies. There may be some other enemies if Rose is in the game and you play as her as a little girl, because again, she would be 8. There's the flashlight, which we're going to do a whole other video on.
Because that's really interesting. We got some stuff we want to talk about with that.
Yes, goes into the light theory of this game. Mercenaries mode is going to be...
It's got to be a brand new Mercenaries, because they're going to have to let you play in third or first person.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's more like RE4 Remake.
Yeah.
Not that Villages was bad. I didn't mind Villages Mercenaries mode.
Yeah,
but it wasn't nearly as good as 4 remakes.
No, they tried something different. But yeah, I am excited about Mercenaries mode. I'm excited we are getting this pass that has the 2 new story scenarios. So.
I'm glad they're making Mercenaries and not some fucking schlup Reverse or some other bullshit this time.
Right.
If this is really Mercenaries, that's a huge W in my book.
Day one Mercenaries.
Give us the stuff, even if it's not day one, because it's an expansion pass.
Right.
Even if it's not day one.
Because this is a major Mercenaries mode update, so maybe it starts you off with like just a few characters and then it extends.
Or maybe it just is a weird wording and it's update, as in like when we got it with 4 Mercenaries update. We just got the mode.
Yeah.
Free DLC or whatever.
Yeah, you might not have to beat the game to play Mercenaries depending on how they do it. Yeah, like I said, initially I'm not the most excited about this, but I don't think it could be a bad thing as long as they do it correctly.
It makes you cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I don't look at this and I'm like, yes, she's in the game. She has a visor, and she has like I'm not like jumping up and down.
She has a visor.
I'm excited. We're getting some extra story scenarios. Mercenaries is coming back. That's what I take at least from the Sanctuary Pass. Yeah. As far as what they do with Rose, that's yet to be seen. So
the Morphic Visor cosmetic filter, a unique cosmetic look for Rose's visor.
Where's she going to be, in a fucking like suit or a fucking?
Well, I don't. The thing when I think of visor, the way that this is written, I think of like Master Chief.
Right. That's what I think so too.
I think of is she going to be a little girl riding on Chris Redfield's gorilla back as he runs
almost
in?
like a Pragmata type shit. She's
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, look. No, but I'm serious. Like, or is Chris the character, and Rose's visor is what she uses to communicate with Chris to see things that she might not otherwise see.
It's true, and look,
or that he might not be able to see.
It did sound like Jeff Shine in the trailer. The shit I've seen,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know, it sounds like his voice.
So they
We
could use
mentioned
him
that.
for Chris again.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's
Will we
not
get
past the
another
possibility.
Chris? Does the RE7
Looks like a visor is a cap. It's a cap.
director hate Leon? This is not going to do good for his. Leon is not good for horror allegations.
Right? No, it's not.
If
they
Leon's
go
not
that
in this
way.
game.
Yeah.
Now, if Leon's not in this game, it is what it is. I want the right characters to be here,
Yeah,
and I'm a
we're-
huge Leon fan.
And we're not held up on that, by the way. You
No.
know, I know a lot of people see us
Some people,
mention
well, 'cause
Leon a
it's-
lot.
there's the
but-
internet's exhausting.
Exactly, and like we're not giving weight to like I said, like any of the leaks and rumors at this point. It's more so of like the creators literally said all the stuff's been fake so far that's been out there. You know, it could just be other characters, but don't get too excited, right? So if I saw Chris, I'd be like, okay, I kind of expected Chris. I'm not getting like super excited to see him. I'll be excited to see him because he's one of my favorite characters right next to Jill. So I'm not going to be like, oh, it's not Leon. I'm bummed out. Like that is off the table. I just want to go in with just like throw what you got on the table. I want to see it. I want to judge it for myself. And that's kind of where I'm at. But I'm curious if Thursday at the Game Awards, we're going to see a trailer that will show Rose Winters.
Yeah,
It's very likely.
The Shadow Walker costume pack. 3 exclusive outfits for Rosemary Winters.
Shadow Walker. Just that title alone, you know?
So,
interesting
here,
stuff.
this is a curveball now. Now, take everything we just said.
They're taking the names of these DLC downloadable content costume packs way too seriously. Let's see. Okay, about this content. Shadows of Woes. Shadows of Woes is Woes' story. Grown up Woes, what do you mean, like, what, 17 years old? Additional orders. With the gold edition. It's basically her costume. Like, you get a different costume with Rose. Let me... You get a slightly different costume with it. Okay. Requiem costume. It's just a different costume. It's not a big deal like they're making it. Bounce back to that.
Said and throw it out the window. What if this is some type of Resident Evil 4 where Grace goes through the hospital, gets out, Chronic Care Center, gets out, gets to Raccoon City, which is the other 75% of the game, stumbles upon Rose as a little girl whose people have died or whoever's watching her has died, and you are on an escort mission for the rest of this game. What if this is not Polly's game, but what if this is Grace and Rose? What if this is what it is, Anthony? Why else are they not showing everything in the trailers?
Right.
Why have we gotten so little?
It's an interesting theory. Yeah.
We've seen none other than empty stills of cameras panning of the RPD. We have seen none of the ruins of Raccoon City.
No.
And they're supposed to be a big part. What if the reason why they haven't shown that stuff
is they're waiting for this Thursday?
Is because it's an escort game, or we know it's a single player game, so we already know that you're
It's
not
not co-op.
You're not able to co-op with it. What if it's like that, dude?
It's an interesting theory. Your question was how do I feel about it? I would say I just don't really think that this should be a escort mission. I'll be perfectly honest with you.
30th anniversary, that would be a curveball that I don't think the community is ready for.
No.
There is already so many people that don't even want to play this game because there's only a female character.
Yeah, I believe it.
But go ahead.
No,
Say your piece, man.
I just want to say that, this is something where if you're doing an escort mission, it's just a very odd choice, because I think that maybe they just think, well, there's only so much we could do with Grace Ashcroft. That means we need to add another layer to this game to keep people engaged. And in my opinion, what we've seen of Grace, I think she can hold her own in a single player game where, maybe there's other characters around, but to make it an escort mission like let's just say, like you said, RE4 Remake, both games, it's such a big part of that game. If that's a whole nother layer to this game, I don't know how I would really feel about it, to be honest with you. Now, it could work. They've done it before. If you're sitting there with a 8-year-old girl who would be Rose, who has powers, I guess that would add a completely different layer to your game of someone who is a, not superhero, but powers, right? Has something that is giving Grace more...
She's a superhuman.
Superhuman, right? With the
Grace
molded.
isn't a super soldier.
Right. So, but I think that would kind of defeat the purpose, because your whole thing is, it's going back a little bit. Like, she's not... a special force person. She's someone who, she's part of the FBI. She's somebody who has, again, she's an analyst, like it says, right? So she is great with research, all that stuff. I feel like it would just defeat the purpose if you put all the weight on this, girl with these powers, and that's the main focus of your game. I just don't know how I would feel about that being half the game. If she's in the game, that's cool. But if it's the escort mission aspect of it, I just don't know how I would feel if that's actually the case.
Well, you have to keep in mind, too, she doesn't have control of her powers at this point. There's files in Resident Evil Village's DLC that talk about her not being able to control things, and she produces a white sticky substance.
The kids make fun of her
on
in
her
class.
hands. Kids make fun of her. So, like, if Rose is in the game, she wouldn't even have powers to use.
Right. How? Yeah.
So then at what point, like, what is happening? Like, and that's why I'm confused by this.
Yeah, me
I
too.
don't understand what this direction is for.
It's interesting, but it's also confusing at the same time.
It's very confusing because from what we have all together right now, and again, I don't mean to piss down. Like I don't mean to
you're right.
piss
Go ahead.
off the building onto
Yeah.
somebody. The marketing has become terrible. The beginning was fine. Am I going to hold this leak to the marketing? No, because they're not obviously doing this on purpose. This isn't supposed to be seen yet.
This conversation can be different after Thursday if we get a trailer
But
and
if
we see
Thursday
a
comes
full-on
around,
thing. Yeah.
And all of a
Why
sudden,
not
this game looks
only
way
sync
different than
to
we were shown so far.
Internet or the web.
I'm a little concerned that maybe we're not going in the right direction.
And that would also add another piece of jank to the marketing that started to go slightly downhill and then a little bit more downhill when the pre-orders happened, and then we didn't really see much more of the other stuff. Again, keeping stuff to yourself, keeping stuff close to the vest, sure. But when your big reveal is because you wanted to hide this Grace and Rose escort mission type gameplay, that would be a bummer.
And that's
why I said if.
That's not even our theory. That's not what we think's going to happen. We're just talking about it because it's a possibility.
Right.
She has costumes. Why else would she have costumes if she's not going to be
3
playable?
costumes?
For mercenaries? Get the fuck out of here. It's Leon doesn't even, well, he has 3 costumes of mercenaries. But most of the characters do not.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here? Like I don't understand what we're going for unless she is only the playable character in one of these 2 story scenarios. Then my question would be, why does she need 3 costumes? But regardless,
right. The other
then
character
that starts to make a little bit more sense.
Right. If there's another character in like the second scenario, right, they can also have 3 costumes.
Like I said, Chris,
right,
with the visor.
Yeah.
And it does say that a unique cosmetic look for Rose's visor. Well, is she a fucking X-Men?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't really know.
Are they dressing her up in a Power Ranger
She's 8
suit?
years old. Like, you know what I mean?
They're all gone.
They're all gone.
Why are they all gone, Rose? I killed them all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I snapped their necks. No, yeah, you're right. Like, this kind of, it's interesting, but it's also just confusing, and that's why we're kind of discussing these theories, because, again, you guys in the comments that are going to, jump on this and give your piece and what you think, think about it, like, what can they actually do with Rose this time around?
Or, the other thing is, and we're not gonna get, because this isn't a theory video,
right?
Just for food for thought.
Yeah, this is
that
fresh
little
in our
girl's
minds.
voice could also be Evelyn, because she's in the Mute in My Seat, and this is before Villages DLC. So she's in the Mute in My Seat. That
fresh in
little
our
girl's
minds.
voice could also be Evelyn, because she's in the Mute in My Seat, and this is before Villages DLC. So,
yeah,
like maybe
it could be something from
Rose
Rose's,
talking to
right.
Evelyn, and they're all gone. Like, where's my family? They're all gone.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know because they're using dialogue cuts.
Yeah.
Like, they're just cutting it out.
That stuff might not even be in the final game.
It might
it's
not
like when you
even be
see
in
a
the
trailer
final
and then you don't see the scene when you go
Yeah.
see it. You're like, oh yeah, that was for the trailer.
I think all the dialogue will be in the final game, because Resident Evil's usually been pretty good with that.
It could
But
just be
it
delivered
might not
differently.
be.
It could be a different take, or
Yeah.
not there at all. It's just again, the way that the stuff has been secretive, I think we will find out why this Thursday at the Game Awards, and we're obviously going to do a fuck ton of content on that. So
Yeah, no matter what gets shown, we're going to be covering it full force.
I just don't think it's a coincidence that this came out the same week as that.
I don't think it is either. I think we're going to see something pretty substantial.
Yeah, so, Keeley has confirmed it. We're obviously going to be live this Thursday around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Game Awards and an exclusive Resident Evil 9 peak.
And what role do you think Rose, if any, is going to play in the game? Do you think she's going to be delegated to the full game?
Mm-hmm.
One of these new stories? I would be willing to bet it's probably one of the new stories. I don't think they're going to try to work Rose into the main game.
I don't think they should, and that's what I meant earlier.
And
when I was just
I
like,
agree with
it's
you.
just not a good idea if she's in the main story.
And
Like,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
100%. But we want to know what you think.
Let us know.
Do you like this? I don't even know what to call it. It's not really a leak because it's official, but
right.
It
seems to be like it's in the game.
It's
like,
an oopsie.
You get a deluxe.
I don't think I can do this. You got people, they get on YouTube to just talk about leaks. And they say it's not official content. What are we doing? Anyway, I just watched an episode of South Park where Kyle doesn't like the fact that his little brother, his Canadian adopted brother, didn't play the game Call of Duty Warfare like Kyle wanted to play. You know, Kyle and Cartman, they all got that game, and then Kyle's little brother just wanted to watch somebody do a let's play, a playthrough of the game and give commentary like they do. You know, when they stream their games online on YouTube or Twitch or whatever, they stream their games. I mean, I stream games too, but it kind of takes the fun out of playing it sometimes, you know, when all you want to do is stream it. Anyway.